The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that...
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Thursday, the 5th day of February, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by, it's the 5th day. Brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio areas with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman, she's Mia Chambray, and Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring the latest in the news break, brought to you by People's. Mia.
Hey, Jamal. This is my first time back, 2026.
Wow. It feels like we haven't seen you in forever.
I know. I was crazy busy over the holiday season. So I'm very blessed for that, of course. Very busy in the shop. And then, so I'm so thankful to be back. I missed you guys.
We're thankful to have you back. I mean, we thought that you just forgot about us,
Never. I was still tuning in.
How's the family? Like, how's your son Gunnar and the hubby, the Manchester man?
Yes, everybody is great. Gunnar is doing well, is thriving, and he's just such a cool little dude. And James is my husband. He's doing well too. So yeah, we're all doing really well. So we're very happy for that,
We love to hear it. Well, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Folks, we have a good one today as we welcome Kamel Dickinson of Cut2Fit. We're going to be talking about health and wellness, simple habits for a healthier life. And I think at the beginning of the year, and not even just the beginning of the year anymore, but so often people start these, health regimens and the like, and it's one of the hardest things is remaining disciplined and being able to see things through. So really looking forward to Kamel. I know so many people, including Keitha, who's my business partner, and people in the audience, Traveling Trotty, and many others have benefited from the work of Kamel Dickinson. So looking forward to the conversation today. The Daily Play is a Name That Place today. Name That Place. It's a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
The Super Bowl's this weekend. End of hint. Alrighty. Audience, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump right into it today. Question of the morning is, where's the line between curiosity and acceptable action when something alarming is found in a home, right? And do we have a responsibility to report illegal weapons to police? Well, what are we talking about? Well, audience, bear with us this morning. Bear with us, because there's been a lot of talk lately about events reported in court involving how a firearm was found in a home and what followed. But today, we're not going to discuss that particular case itself because it's still before the courts and should be decided there. Instead, let's unpack some of the public arguments and questions that have come up since the reporting. Questions that go beyond any one person and speak to bigger issues about responsibility, privacy, and community safety. Some people in the community have said things like this: if someone finds a gun during the course of doing their job, even by accident, and reports it, they did the right thing. Others have said, what about snooping? Should someone be poking around in places they weren't specifically hired to check? These arguments tap into two competing instincts. The instinct to keep our communities safe, where firearms don't belong outside of maybe law enforcement, versus the instinct to respect people's privacy and property, especially when someone is just trying to do the job they were asked to do. So there's no easy answer to this, apparently, but it's worth talking about. And I think these questions are relevant. And again, I don't want us to get lost and speak about the actual case that's going on right now. That case needs to be decided in court with a jury that is making decisions based on the evidence. Let's be very clear about that. But what we need to do is be honest and ask ourselves some questions this morning. And those questions are very simple. Where's the line between curiosity and acceptable action when something alarming is found in a home? And do we have a responsibility to report illegal weapons to the police? Like, that's a yes or no. Now, a little bit more background. So there's the discovery versus curiosity debate. Some argue that someone's curiosity could lead to life-saving discoveries, right? That might otherwise have gone unnoticed. Others argue there's a line between doing your job and getting into, places or areas you weren't explicitly asked to inspect, right? So where should that line be drawn, right? No, public safety first. Firearms and ammunition are illegal in Bermuda for private citizens. Many Bermudians feel that anything suspicious discovered, even inadvertently, should always be reported to the police immediately. The instinct comes from a desire for zero tolerance on, having illegal weapons off the streets. Now, the respect for privacy and property rights. There are people who continue to say that there's a difference between fulfilling one's work duties and entering areas of someone's home that aren't related to that job. They're concerned about expectations of privacy inside a private residence, even if there's danger present, right? Now, the broader debate is Bermuda has a gun issue, right? It's last year we had 2 mass shootings. And we have to ask ourselves about personal responsibility versus legal obligations, how law enforcement and citizens interact on matters of public safety, the role of reporting versus search. Most people agree on one point. If you see something that looks like a weapon, call the police, don't touch it. But the disagreement seems to be whether someone searching beyond what was required by their job crosses a line. And let me add, before we jump in on this conversation, folks, put it out there, disclaimer. Yes, I am a firearms owner. I own multiple firearms. I am a registered to carry a weapon with me. So I just want to put that out there before anyone says anything about that. However, I want to say this. There was a case in Ohio many years ago where a man had 3 women locked in his basement for many years, and one of them was able to escape. And the person was unsure whether they should call the police, didn't know what was going on. We've had incidents where children were held captive and similar things have happened. My question to anyone, and again, this is not a right or wrong. It's really, to me, this is a question of morality. That's what we're discussing here, our moral perspective on life. And so while being nosy makes so many uncomfortable, while being pokey makes so many people uncomfortable, I think it was Desmond Crockle who holds a lot of nonviolent things within our community. It may have been him who said this. Bermudians love to gossip, but we don't love to talk. Because if we did, we wouldn't have the problems we have in terms of getting convictions for those who do wrong in our community. So again, I'll leave it to you all. Where's the line between curiosity and acceptable action when something alarming is found in a home? And do you believe we have a responsibility to report illegal weapons to the police? Mia, you seem like you've got a lot to say.
I do have a lot to say on this topic. I think that if you find something that is illegal, that you should absolutely report it to the police. And I also think probably when you find it, it's probably very scary, regardless of whether it's washed up on the beach or you were in a crawl space and you found something strange, something in your gut. I think, especially as a woman, I think we have like a lot of gut feelings.
Mhm.
And I think if you feel something, see something is strange, not right, regardless of if you're working or if you're just out and you see something weird, you should report it, because that is how many crimes get solved.
Mhm.
And so if you find a loaded weapon in a place where weapons are illegal and there's a problem with gun violence in Bermuda, I give a round of applause to anybody who finds weapons and is reporting them to the police, because next thing, you don't say anything and then there's a gun murder. Oh, why didn't anybody say anything about the guns? Oh, we have a gun problem. Well, actually, what we have is a not talking to each other and protecting each other in the community problem. And I think that's a huge issue. Why are we protecting murderers?
Well, it's an interesting one, and an audience. This is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure. Let's go to the audience again. Audience, let us know where's the line between curiosity and acceptable action when something alarming is found in a home, and also, do we have a responsibility to report illegal weapons to the police? Well, Dr. Anthony Richardson says, no, we don't have a legal responsibility to do so, but it's arguable that we have a moral and ethical responsibility to do, and that's why we're aligned. That's why I said earlier, this is about morality. This is about this is not about whether it's legal or not. This really comes down to morals, and I absolutely get both perspectives. I do. I get those who are saying people should mind their business. I do. However, part of the reason we have so many unsolved crimes is because people do just that. Part of the reason people are running, the way they are, committing the crimes they do, is because we mind our business. Many of the problems we face in our community today is because we love to gossip, but we mind our business. So we'll talk about things among friends and family and gossip, but when it comes time to help resolve the issue, we mind our business.
And Jamel, I think that's such a great point. And I also feel that protecting our community should be everybody's business. Protecting each other, having love for one another, having morals and respect for one another, and wanting to protect not only adults, but children. I think I said in our chat, imagine when I was little, I was all over the place, crawling all through the house, doing all sorts of naughty things that I shouldn't have been doing, being where I shouldn't be. Imagine a child finding a loaded weapon in a home in Bermuda. It's a horrific thought. So, yeah, that's a whole other issue that we're not thinking about. You're not just protecting other adults. We have to protect our young children as well from things that are illegal in our community and the rippling effects of violence in Bermuda. We have to stop this violence.
And I think, and again, understanding both sides, what came to mind for me is, let's say that if you found something, right? Let's say you're at your house and you happen to just look over your wall into your neighbor's yard and you see an illegal weapon. No, it's not in your yard, it's in your neighbor's yard. And let's say you saw it and you said nothing. And then a week later, you find out that something happened involving your neighbor. And the thing that happened harmed one of your close friends or family members. Will you be living with guilt? Will you be living saying if I would have spoken up and said something, I could have saved my friend or family member. The point I'm making is we can mind our business. We can definitely mind our business. But don't start crying and asking for sympathy when it comes knocking on your door.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamal. And you know what? Especially in a small community like Bermuda, everything that we do to and for each other affects each other. So what I do affects you. What you do affects me, maybe not directly, but absolutely indirectly. And so therefore, we need to continue to protect each other and to fight for a safe community.
But let me be clear, though. Let me be clear. Because I don't want people thinking that I'm a snooper. I don't. Like, it's to the point
I am.
Growing up, and that's fair. But it's to the point growing up. I only became more aware of my surroundings over the last 2-3 years. And when I say that, I grew up watching America's Most Wanted. It was just one of my favorite shows because I like trying to figure things out. Now Dateline in 2020. And one of the things I realized at a very young age is I would never be able to give the police information about a suspect because I don't remember what I wore yesterday, let alone give them a description of someone else. So that's what I mean, where I was not as observant. I've become very observant of my surroundings as of late. And so I question, I'm like, would I really not say anything? And it's tough. It's tough because, for one, I probably wouldn't look. I would. I probably, that's just me. Like if I see something somewhere.
But even if it seemed weird to you and out of place?
Look, this may sound very silly, but I'm being very serious.
Okay.
I look because I've seen too many Dateline and 2020 episodes where people are looking something and found a leg or something like that. I'm being serious. I don't want to be the person
right
who finds that because I don't want to have to live with that thought, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I think I'm allowed to say this on the show. Like my father, he's an electrician. And I asked him last year, or like Christmas, I said, didn't you find a body one time? And he did. He went on a job and found, and I couldn't imagine being that person. Seriously. Like so for me, I've never been that inquisitive in person. I've never been that person. However, I understand if people see something not pretty. No, let me keep in mind, because Mia dragged me out last night, by the way. But as I said to you at dinner last night, when I was in New York, you're advised in New York, if you see an old lady on the ground, keep walking. If you see somebody get knocked down, if you see an incident, mind your business, keep walking. That's how you're literally trained in New York to live. For various reasons, because then you can be brought in a court case, or you can be like, just the way things work there. In Bermuda's not New York.
No.
Bermuda's a small town community where you would think that it would be the polar opposite. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Go ahead, Mia. Sorry.
No, I agree. Bermuda is the polar opposite. So why are we having a kind of behavior of a huge big city with tons of crime? It's not cute, it's not clever, and it's not community minded. And Jamal, let me tell you, I am nosy, so don't be having anything weird around me because I'll be looking. I think women we're way more attuned to our surroundings. We every time I'm somewhere, I check all exits, I look at people, I look at what they're wearing, I just check out the scene because you have man privilege in many ways, and I'm a woman, and I have totally different set of scenarios in which I operate in the world. So I think it's absolutely right that if you see something, you think it's weird, you need to open it up, even if it's a leg or a gun or narcotics or anything, and you need to report it to the police. Even if you just call, there's a anonymous hotline. You don't have to get yourself involved. And any brave souls who put their name to it and call and say, this is Mia Chambray, I found a gun. Like, that's incredible. And you're so brave, and you should be applauded for keeping our community safe. Not demoralized and having negative comments and saying you're a nosy neighbor and you're pokey. No, you just got a gun off the streets. You're actually incredible. You're actually a hero, and you're keeping our Bermudian community safe.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Thank you. Let's go to the audience, see what the audience opinions are, Mia. Manuela says, we may say that we are minding our own business, but there may come a time that can affect you. Absolutely. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, we can mind our business, but when it comes knocking on our own doors, we're going to wish people didn't mind their business.
Exactly.
Adeline Stevenson says, my question is, how are the guns getting into Bermuda? Only because the amount of guns entering Bermuda seem to be increasing. We've got Suzanne Ingham says, it is common sense to report illegal weapons to the police. Is it though?
Well, I think so.
Maybe it's a moral thing, but again, that's where I think the divide is, Suzanne. Manuela says, we may question how the guns are entering Bermuda, but seriously, can you account for everything that is in your home if you are not the only one living there? That's very true.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. Damon Hollis says, the police are agents of the community we serve. Therefore, we are successful when every facet of society is actively modeling and embracing the society they want to live in. I concur.
Amen, Damon.
And Dr. Anthony Richardson says, Bermuda needs to revert back to the village concept, asking if remaining silent will help or hurt the village. I think that's a dang good comment to wrap it up on. And thank you all for engaging. Here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, the theme of violence in our community is if you see something, say something, right? I was reading something and I understood, for years, for decades, since I was in high school, the term snitch has been used. But I just realized people have been using it wrong. If I find the video, I'll share it, but it was saying that a snitch is not someone who goes to the police with information. A snitch is the person who basically, from this person's perspective, by the way, this is not actual fact, is someone who does something with someone and then tells on that person. So remove the idea that doing the right thing makes you a bad person.
I love that.
Have to do. All right, folks. Let's give thanks to Titan Express and Secure. Then we'll go to the news break with Teo, an exciting conversation with Kamel. We are going to be talking about simple habits, folks, for a healthier life and how to maintain, healthy habits for the long term. Like, instead of just getting our summer body, right? Let's figure out how to just be, because, the summer body is the thing when you live in beach destinations, right? So we'll look forward to the conversation with Kamel. All right, but let's give some love to Titan Express and Secure.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
Hey, you all. I meant to tell you, because I don't want to gossip or anything. But I got word last night that the OBA held a vote of no confidence in their leader, Robert King. And I'm not trying to say Teo or Teray or anything bad or good or not, but I predicted, remember my two predictions at the beginning of the end of your recap. I had two predictions. One, Zandy Silva would be the next premier of Bermuda come by the end of this year. And two, Robert King would no longer be the opposition leader. Well, folks, I found this out last night, and apparently the Royal Gazette has it printed on the front page. Let's go to the news break with Teo. I don't know if Teo's got anything about this, but we're going to talk about that.
Good morning, I'm Teo Dillon. Welcome to your TDH News Break, brought to you by the great folks at Peoples. From prescriptions to daily essentials, Peoples Pharmacy is where wellness begins and community grows together. Now, Fairmont Southampton just made a move that local businesses should pay a whole bunch of attention to. The resort has launched a new online vendor RFP hub, basically a centralized platform where companies can see and respond to major contract opportunities tied to the hotel's massive over $500 million redevelopment. Fairmont says this is a part of their push to rebuild the resort around a higher-end guest experience, and they're looking for vendors across a wide range of areas, from arrivals and mobility to events, experiences, and in-room technology. Now, a new property down to our south might just be one of the redeveloped Fairmont Southampton's primary competitors. It's called Eden Rock at Cap Cana in the Dominican Republic, a property that's fast become one of the most talked about luxury resorts in the region. It's owned by the Oetker Collection, and Eden Rock has completely reimagined what high-end Caribbean hospitality looks like, blending world-class design with dramatically elevated experiences from takeoff to checkout. Critics and travelers alike say Eden Rock sets a new benchmark for what luxury means in the Caribbean, not just in service and facilities, but in how the entire guest journey is thoughtfully composed. Again, this, we hope, is what the Fairmont redevelopers are aspiring to is in terms of success, growth, progress, and upgrading the local tourism experience. Now, a very much necessary feel-good story here from our local schools. 12 Bermudian schools have just signed up for this year's Race to Recycle, an island-wide contest running from February 23rd to March 20th. This competition, put together by Keep Bermuda Beautiful, will involve students competing to collect and sort recyclables like tin, aluminum, and gas. KBB organizers say that this isn't just about bins and weights. It's about young people leading the charge on sustainability and inspiring their families and communities to think differently about waste. As the competition gets underway, the call is out to Bermudians of all ages to follow along, cheer on the schools, and take a page from their playbook in building greener habits at home. Now, speaking of recycling, one country in the world is apparently so good at recycling, they import garbage from other countries. They bring it in to run their waste to energy incineration plants to keep them running at peak efficiency. Basically, Sweden has turned trash, like trash, into an energy commodity.
Sweden recycles nearly 99% of its household waste. That's not a typo. They've gotten so good at managing waste that they literally don't have enough to keep their energy plants running. So, they import trash. Wait, they burn the trash. Yes, but not like a bonfire. Sweden uses waste-to-energy, WTE plants. They burn trash at high temperatures in a controlled environment to produce electricity and heat, without the thick black smoke you might imagine. 3. Trash powers homes. Thanks to this system, over 1 million Swedish homes are heated by trash. It's part of a district heating network, where hot water from WTE plants circulates through entire neighborhoods.
And today's weather is going to be a bit deceptive. That is, it's going to begin one way, relatively calm and uncomplicated, and end up entirely differently with a whole bunch of strong wind and heavy rain. So, as I mentioned, we start off pretty decent today with some sunny intervals, but do not be fooled. Clouds and showers will move in later in the evening. The winds are also going to pick up fast, turning from strong from the south-southwest with gale force gusts possible and heavier showers late tonight. Highs will reach around 69, dropping to about 63 overnight. And that's your TDH News Break, brought to you by our friends at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Now back to the show.
Thanks so much for that, Teo. Mia, I know you were smiling with that Swedish. Smiling with that.
Oh, and also the recycling contest with all the schools.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to get involved.
Yeah.
Big time. I am already involved in my own way, but yeah, I'm definitely going to follow their progress, and that was really exciting. The whole news break was really amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
I love hearing about it.
Stories that Mia's going to like today. Real quickly, folks, I just want to let you know, I did send an email to the OBA last night, and I did get a response, and I'll read to you my response that I received last night because, again, I didn't want to just spread rumors. But response was, "Hi, Jamal, we'll have a statement for you in the morning." So, again, the Royal Gazette's printed it. I stand by my prediction that Mr. King, I have nothing personal against him. He came on the show eventually, had a decent discussion, but I just don't see how, the OBA under his leadership is going to impact or be a good opposition. Anyway, days of the year, Mia, what you got for us today?
Oh, today is National Optimist Day. So I thought I would ask the audience, are you an optimist? Do you see the glass half full? Or are you a pessimist? Do you see the glass half empty? So, Jamal, are you an optimist or a pessimist?
It depends.
What would you say?
It depends. And I'll say it depends. With people, I'm probably more pessimistic. Just think of the conversation we're having today.
Right.
I don't have as much faith in humanity. I mean, look, we've had 2 elections that I was involved in, and the results made me question democracy. I'm just saying. So,
I think everybody's questioning that globally, Jamal.
yeah. But I would like to say overall, I'm an optimist. I believe that, we as individuals have more control over our destiny than we may think. It's just about having that belief that we can actually achieve the things that we set out to. So I'm going to go with I'm more of an optimist overall.
Yes, and I definitely say I am absolutely an optimist, because I believe, like that country song, I believe most people are good.
Yeah.
I believe most people are good. I believe most people will report gun violence and report weird things, and I think most people are good. I think it's just the kind of negative people, make it seem a bit.
Well, Dr. Anthony Richardson seems to be an optimist as well. Anyone else? Audience, if you're a pessimist, it's okay. I mean, I'm pessimistic.
That's totally fine.
All right, folks, let's take our first break. Don't forget, after this break, coming right up, we've got Kamel Dickinson. It's going to be fun today. It's going to be fun. Well, Mark Arthur says, when it comes to Arsenal FC, I am the furthest thing from an optimist. Well, I can understand. It's been 20-something years, so I get you. It might be a year. It might be a year. Folks, we'll be back after the short break. In the meantime, if you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, you know what to do. Give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, and your colleagues. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Take a look at our workbook for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast, so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamel Hartman, Mia Shembre. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 with giving us the opportunity to pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, folks, without further ado, we've got a very special guest. I think this is the first professional wrestler we've ever had on the show, right? I'm just glad we're not in person, so I don't get body slammed or anything if I say something crazy, right? But let's give a warm TDH welcome to, I'm going to say, Mr. Fitness himself, Bermudian Kamel Dickinson.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Jamel. Hey, Mia.
We're good. You know what? Normally I would say to people, thanks, for waking up and doing this. But anyone who's into fitness is probably up at 3 a.m. every day anyway, right?
This is it, 4:30. 4:30 every day, pretty much.
There you go. There you go. Well, Kamel, first of all, thanks for coming on. I got to ask you, because Mia asked us right before the break, she was saying it's Optimist Day, right? Are you more of an optimist or a pessimist?
Now, if you ask me, I'm gonna say an optimist, but I think most people that know me might say the opposite.
Okay.
Okay.
Their opinions don't matter. Well,
exactly.
For those who don't know you, tell the audience. Obviously, I just said first professional wrestler, but tell the audience a bit about your background, a bit about who you are, and what it is that you do.
So just like Jamel said, I am Bermuda's first professional wrestler. I started out actually in acting school, left Cedar Bridge, run a Rotary Exchange to Thailand, one of the best experiences of my life. So if any of you guys can do that, I would 100% recommend it. From there, went into acting. I was living in LA for a bit, then went into wrestling after that, came back to Bermuda because of concussions. They messed me up. Body slammed me too much, bro. But yeah, once I got back to the island, I was lost. I remember bawling my eyes out. I was like, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do with my life? And I had one of my brother's friends mentioned to me that, since I was all into fitness, I was a big guy already, that maybe I should become a personal trainer or a stripper. So I decided to go the more moral route, and I decided that, maybe I'll go into personal training. So I actually reached out to the Bermuda College, and they had the college course, the WIT certification course. I ended up taking the WIT certification course. I passed that. I went and started working at the athletic club. That lasted about 3 months. And I guess you could say I'm an optimist because I decided, I could do bad all by myself, and I decided to go on my own, and that's what's pretty much got me to this point.
Interesting. That is a journey. I mean, I knew the wrestling. I didn't know you were in LA and acting and so on. So it's an amazing journey in such a short time. But now you're at a point where you've accomplished quite a lot, and we'll go through some of that during this show. But I've heard people talk about, look, man, I go to Kamel. Oh, have you heard about Kamel's program? And you were doing a contest one time and BJ. So people now know Kamel Dickinson. They know fitness. But let's talk about individuals, because a lot of people start strong with fitness, but struggle to stay consistent, right? Whether it's the new year, whether it's, April 1st, getting ready for the summer body. What does building sustainable success and fitness look like?
Well, number one, you got to come in with a realistic goal. So most of the people that I see, they come out, the first thing is, I need my summer body. I need to look good for my birthday. When's your birthday? 3 weeks. Huh? It's like, ma'am. So we got to have realistic goals. That's the number one thing that's going to help someone to become to allow it to become a sustainable lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, this is something that we need to be doing for the rest of our lives, right? Not just in phases, right? When it's going to benefit us. So that's the number one thing that I would recommend to most people. Make sure you come in with a realistic goal, and know that this isn't a sprint, that it's a marathon. So that's the number one thing I would say.
Yeah. And hi, Kamel. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I think that's such a great point, because as oftentimes social media, the news, they're selling quick fixes and short-term challenges are everywhere. Why do people fail, and what should people focus on instead for long-term results?
You said, sorry, what was that? The first part of that was, why do people fail?
No, why do quick fixes, et cetera, often fail, and what should people do and focus on for long-term results?
So the one thing I tell people is to focus on something that's balanced, right? A lot of people turn around, they're like, okay, I'm going to do Beyonce's lemonade diet. Well, how long are you going to do Beyonce's lemonade diet for, ma'am? You can drink lemonade for the rest of your life, So that's not realistic, right? And then there's a lot of my clients that come in and say, oh, well, so-and-so went vegan, so I'm going to go vegan to lose weight as well. And I'm like, can you be vegan for the rest of your life? Are you going to go on vacation and still be a vegan? If so, then okay, try it. If not, it's probably not the right thing for you to do, right? So a lot of people come in and they have these goals. Oh, this is what I'm going to try and do. But if it's not something that's sustainable, there's no point in doing it, and you're bound to fail. It's a 100% success, chance that you're going to fail.
Be realistic. Be realistic. Be
exactly
realistic. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Kamel, please feel free to send them through. Go ahead, Mia. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So, Kamel, motivation comes and goes. What strategies do you recommend for staying active when energy is low and or life gets busy?
So what I tell people, and that's part of the reason I do the program that I do, which is group classes, is because when you have a good group of people around you, that helps motivate you to stay consistent, to want to show up, right? When I have some of my clients that don't show up, right? The rest of my clients are like, well, where's so-and-so? And then they start messaging so-and-so, and they're like, where are you? Why didn't you show up today? Right? So having a good circle of people around you that always helps motivate people, right? Because you don't want to feel like you let down the group. So that also helps in the back of some people's minds to, you know what, maybe I need to show up today. Maybe I need to get out there and try a little harder. Maybe let me get in these extra steps. And that's part of the reason with some of my classes as well, I've decided to do like challenges, right? Because that it just helps the others around you to hold you accountable, right? And you do the same for the other individuals that you're grouped with. So that's one of the main things that I would say, I guess.
It's interesting because he says that and he's talking about me, folks, because I don't do classes because I don't like the accountability. I'm being honest with you. And so I had this issue, and people know, I know, feminists stick with me on this, but many years ago, if I was on the treadmill and a woman got on a treadmill next to me, I've said this on the show before, don't be shocked or surprised, I would get off because I was not running. If I'm running 7.0 and she's running 7.5, we're not doing that. But that's why I wouldn't do classes, because I'm like, no, I don't want to be, I'm running my own race here. But speak to people like me with mental challenges, like, because it literally is a mental thing where I feel like I'm competing against those in classes with me.
Right. So that's one of the things that people just have to break. And it's hard to, I can't do that for you. Right. That's something that you just have to come to terms with, but you have to understand that everyone is in their own boat. Right. So you need to make sure that you stay on your path, that individual staying on their path. Right. And that's all you need to focus on is day by day. Right. Taking those small steps to get to ultimately where you want to be. Right. So even if you set small attainable goals, that's what's going to help you get to that end result where you might be the one running the 7 miles on the treadmill, right? But if you get up there and you're like, oh, well, so-and-so is running 7 miles, I can't run 7 miles like so-and-so, I ain't gonna do this then, right? That you're never gonna get to where you need to be. And even when I went to Brazil, I actually trained in Brazil at one of my favorite gyms, DNA Academia, and it was this woman there, Carol Baez. And I was doing booty classes with the rest of the women there. And these are like the most fittest, good-looking women I've ever met in my life. I have never met women that train 3 hours a day. But you'll find women there that train for 3 hours in the morning from 6 to 9 and then go work for the rest of the day. And some of them come back in the evening. So it was that crazy. And I remember Carol, because I couldn't keep up with most of the women, was calling me Maria Tifa. And I was like, well, who's Maria Tifa? She was like, my dear granny. So, with that being said, we're all got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, you were humbled. You were humbled.
Me,
exactly.
For me, it was more like, again, I always thought of it like gym class, like I'm running against people. And I think what I had to learn was that fitness isn't a competition. It's personal, right? Versus running cross country in gym or running a 5K. Like there are some people who run for competition. There are some people who run for themselves to say, let me get a jog in. So I think that's the mentality I had to change within myself. So happy to hear that example you just gave. Sorry, Mia, go ahead. I'm just cut.
Oh, no. And I think, what's interesting about fitness is the wellness aspect of it is what's really appealing to me. Aging, longevity, wellness, aging with grace, aging with movement, nutrition, mental wellness, because they're all connected. So that's why I work out and eat well, and I want to move my body every day. How do you Kamel, how do you help clients find a balance without feeling restricted, overwhelmed, not doing the right thing? How do you help clients do that?
With nutrition, because that's the tough
part. Especially with nutrition. That's a hard one. That is a hard one.
So to me, the best diet is the one that you'll stick to, right? Mm-hmm. So what I always tell people, and I always start with, what is it that you are currently consuming, right? And if we start there, right? If it's for breakfast, I'm eating an omelet. For lunch, I'm eating 2 hamburgers. At dinner, I'm eating 3 slices of pizza. Mm. Okay. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to keep that diet as close to what it is, because that's what the person's currently used to doing. But we want to make some slight adjustments, right? So then we want to add in some vegetables. Okay. So instead of just 2 hamburgers, let's do 1 hamburger, right? And then let's add in some vegetables and maybe a little piece of a lean piece of protein, maybe a piece of salmon or chicken breast, right? And then for dinner, instead of 3 slices of pizza, we're going to do 2 slices of pizza and maybe a steak and a salad, right? So we want to make small changes to a person's diet, right? And that was like one woman that I was working with at one point in time. She's like, Kamel, I can't do this. I've never been able to stay consistent. While dieting, it's always just been impossible for me. And I said, let's just take it in small steps. And she's like, I love eating cereal. I was like, okay, so keep eating your cereal, right? But let's make changes in other places. Mm-hmm. So she kept the cereal in, and we made changes to other parts of her diet, right? Mm-hmm. And over time, you were able to start seeing the progress. And in the first month, she was like, oh, I'm so discouraged because so-and-so looks like they've lost all of this weight. I don't look like I've lost anything. I was like, okay, that's fine, right? Everyone's bodies move differently, right? Someone else's body, they might start off exercising, they drop 10 pounds, right? In 2 weeks, right? I'm just exaggerating, but they might drop pounds a lot faster, right? I was like, with you, it might take you a little longer, right? You're a little older, right? So your body might be moving a little slower. It doesn't mean anything, nothing's changing. And she said that the scale had gone down 10 pounds, but she looked the exact same. By the end of the 3 months, she was my $1,000 winner. And why? Because she stayed consistent over that period of time to the point where you can really see the difference in her body. And it was all by just making small changes to her diet in the very beginning. And then over time, we made them month by month a little more drastic, or not drastic, I would say, but we changed it just a little bit more, right? So now instead of 2 hamburgers, right, we're going down to 1 hamburger. Now it's half a burger. Got it, but we're increasing the amount of lean protein sources she's consuming and vegetables, while also adding in some complex carbohydrates. And those are the changes that you want to make.
And those were like what you explained just now is you shared that it was steps, like baby steps, rather than this big extreme thing like what I would do, like just cut out eating something, right? That's an important thing for everyone to note. The steps, like he didn't say just eliminate the burgers. He said eliminate 1. He didn't say remove the piece. He said remove a slice. Those steps. I like that. I like that.
Me too. I love that as well. And, as seasons change and routines shift. So like when the summer starts to come out, I cannot with the work. Like I can't run outside. I just can't do it. Like I just can't. It's too hot. It's too hot. I just, no. No. So as seasons change, routines shift. How can people adjust their workouts and their eating habits, which we just kind of touched on, throughout the year and still stay on track?
So that's where it gets a little difficult, I guess, for some individuals like yourself. So if you're used to going out and running, I would say find yourself a gym, run on the treadmill in the gym, right? So try and make changes like that. Or since it's summertime now, right, and you don't want to run because it's too hot to run, you could always swim, right? And actually swimming burns more calories per hour than it does running. So it would be much better for you to actually go out and go for swims on a daily basis as opposed to going on runs on a daily basis. And I usually tell most of my clients, usually focus on doing cardio, maybe 4 to 5 days a week, preferably 5 days a week. If you're going to look to getting your steps, right? Focus on like 10,000 steps a day, right? Because 10,000 steps a day, depending on give or take how much you weigh, is roughly around 500 calories burned. So those would be the changes that I would tell most people. But definitely find if you don't like running, or if you really enjoy running but don't want to run outside, then just find yourself a gym. The best cardio is the cardio that you enjoy the most. Is the cardio you're going to stick to, right? So if you really enjoy doing a specific type of cardio, find somewhere where you can do that in comfort.
Yeah, indeed. Let's go to the audience. We've got some comments coming through. Michelle White says, really enjoyed Kamel's cooking show. Very unique cooking.
You have a cooking show, Kamel? What's it called?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. People ask me about this all the time. I started it during COVID in 2020. And it was literally because I was bored and I had nothing else to do. And then once we got out of lockdown, that's when I started my group classes. So my group classes started out at about 20 people, and over time it grew to like 50 people. So it was I was doing the cooking shows then because, again, I had so much time. But as I got busier and busier with classes, the cooking shows kind of died off a bit. So it's unfortunate. I had people ask me about it all the time, when am I going to bring them back? But I just don't know right now. I really don't. I'm so sorry. Oh man. I haven't done one since 2021. I think it was. I think 2021 was the last one.
Search.
What's that? Sorry.
People can find them online if they went to search.
Yes, I had a few of them on my YouTube. I think the YouTube. I don't remember what the YouTube page is now. I think it was Cut2Fit BDA. So I think they can find it there. It was the cup match popsicles. I think it was the date night steak. It was a few things.
I'm gonna check it out because I remember seeing clips. Dr. Anthony Richardson's asking, how do you suggest maintaining in-office fitness for those with an in-office sitting at computers jobs?
So I would say recommend, number one, once you arrive at the office, always take the stairs. Why not get your steps in, right? So instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. That'd be number one. Also, if you have one of the desks where you can actually stand and work, that'll be a much better option as well, right? Because as opposed to sitting, you'll be standing up straight, so you'll be burning more calories just by standing in general. And also, it'll be a little better for your posture because you're not going to be hunched over at your desk. So there's will be some changes that I would recommend.
Indeed, yeah, that's simple stuff I do. I don't like elevators, so I tend to take the steps every day anyway. I just have this like weird feeling of getting stuck in one, and I don't like to feel like I'm stuck in anything. So here as it is, every day I take the stairs. We've got Dwayne S.S. Kane says, share advice for eating as a lifestyle, not a diet that can't last.
So eating as a lifestyle. So I always tell people that you got to find balance, right? If there's things that you enjoy eating, you always keep them in your diet, right? You never completely eliminate them. So again, kind of going back to what I was saying about the burgers, for example, right? If you enjoy eating burgers, and what I tell some of my clients, right? Eating burgers isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? If you go to Linda's or if you go to Marketplace, at Marketplace, they have the extra, what is it? It is the 95% lean ground sirloin, right? So you can go purchase 95% lean ground sirloin, and you can also purchase the 647 bread. It's like half-calorie bread. Right. So by doing that, right, 95% lean ground sirloin has actually less fat than it does 85%. So that means that it's going to be more protein. So that's what you want to do. That means also it's going to have less calories. So now instead of making your burgers, right, with this processed patties, right, you want to use something like that that's going to have less calories, more protein, and then on top of that, you're using a bread that has less calories overall as well. So ultimately, the meal that you really enjoy eating now has less calories and more protein. And that's ultimately what we want to go for at the end of the day. So if you can find any sort of substitutes And this is the whole reason why I came up with the cooking show to begin with, right? Was to show people that you can have substitutes for our favorite foods. So even with like the poo-tang apple pie that I made on my show, in the crust of the apple pie, I actually use protein powder, right, to help increase the amount of protein in it. And I also blended oats to make it. So it's just small changes and adjustments like that that you have to make. So it's all about just trying to find healthier, high protein substitutes at the end of the day.
When's protein wine coming out? That's what I want to know.
Oh my.
That one, but believe it or not, Marketplace had a sort of what was it, like a low sugar wine?
There you go.
So that at one point in time, I haven't seen it in a while though, so I think it might have been discontinued because no one wanted to buy it. So, so maybe that's one of those things that people weren't too interested in.
There's a picture that was going around this week of Serena Williams. She has been on GLP-1, and she's actually apparently in a Super Bowl ad for it this weekend. Mia asked about shortcuts, I guess, not necessarily shortcuts, but quick fixes earlier. With these things happening, so I went down a rabbit hole, just to let you know, because I knew you were coming on. So I went down a rabbit hole on GLP-1, read a bit about it, looked up like the harmful effects, like the pros and cons and so on. And I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'm going to watch my language. I was scared, you know what, to actually think about taking something like that for others as well. What can we do to encourage people, inspire people? Because everyone's running their own race and everyone has different goals, different bodies and the like. But what can we do to encourage people to choose what's been known as the healthy or traditional ways over the quick fixes and shortcuts?
No, the funny part is I kind of just learned about GLP-1 the other day in the gym. And the amount of people using peptides. I really didn't know it was as big and popular as it actually is, believe it or not. But what I always tell people is that at the end of the day, because when I competed, I was competing in competitions. That was in 2018, 2019. And even before that, when I was wrestling, my main goal was to be, of course, as big as I could potentially get, right? But I always said that if I'm going to do it, I want to do it on my own, right? I'm going to put in that work. I'm going to eat I'm going to do everything right? So I'm going to eat all the food that I'm going to do. I'm going to exercise this amount of days a week, right? And it was just something that I don't know how to say it, but it motivated me to just, because I knew at the end of the day, if I did everything I possibly could to get to that point without taking any sort of performance enhancing supplements, I knew I would appreciate it more at the end of the day, right? And that's just the type of individual I am, right? And I know it's really difficult for a lot of people, especially because like when I was competing, or not competing, but working my way up to become a wrestler, I was eating tuna fish every day. I ate tuna fish every day for 3 years. Tuna fish and white rice every day. And I know a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people don't have the motivation or the drive to want to even do that, right? So I feel like at the end of the day, you got to look at yourself and you really got to ask yourself what it is that you want, and will you appreciate it more if you just did whatever it took to get there, jeopardizing your health in the process, or would you appreciate it more actually putting in that work, showing up on time, and getting the work done? That's kind of what I'd say. But it's a difficult place, because I understand everyone wants a quick fix in 2026. But realistically, is it the best thing for you? No.
There was something on social media last week. There's a rapper called Big Plug the Axe, or Big Axe the Plug, or something, from Texas, and he's a really heavy guy. And he said that the reason he's sharing his journey of working out online is because he wants to show people, like inspire people, like it's not a GLP-1. And let me be clear, this is no criticism of those who choose to do it. I think to each their own. But he was just saying that the reason he's sharing his journey is so that people will see that it's all due to his hard work. And we're he wants to inspire people, and also what you said, feel good knowing that he did it in a natural way. So I found that very interesting. We've got a question from the audience. Michael Daniels asking, do you have an opinion on Tai Chi as an exercise regime? Or is it Tai Chi?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
Okay.
No, I don't know if he's referring to the Tai Chi commercials that are on YouTube. I'm not really sure. With the do Tai Chi walking for 20 minutes a day, and you'll lose X amount of pounds. So Tai, there's nothing wrong with doing Tai Chi, for example, right? But I think certain things like the commercials online are definitely they're making very false claims, I would say, in terms of the amount of time, because a lot of this comes down to, at the end of the day, realistically, is diet. And that's what I tell most of my clients, right? You don't actually have to work out at all. If your diet is on point, you're consuming the right amounts of food, you don't technically have to work out to lose weight, right? Ultimately, what we want to work out for, right, is to build muscle, right? To strengthen our bones. So we don't necessarily have to do any form of exercise to literally lose weight. But when it comes to Tai Chi, if that is something that you enjoy doing, right, then yes, do it. But don't believe the hype of some of these YouTube commercials that you might see where they're saying do Tai Chi walking for 15 minutes a day and you're going to lose 40 pounds at the end of the month, right? That's I think that is that's real unrealistic. But if it's something that you actually enjoy doing, yes, it will burn some calories. I can't tell you the specific amount, but it'll still be beneficial for your health. But at the end of the day, if you're following something like that, then it's not going to get you to where you need to be at the end of the day.
I think something that I think we all know, which you kind of just reiterated and said, is that the hardest part of being healthy is what we consume, not our active output. And with the challenges with diet. Now, there are people who believe, Kamel, that to be healthy, to live healthy, to eat healthy is not affordable. Do you have any, can you speak to that? Like say, you know what? This is not expensive. That's not expensive. Like that's one of the biggest things you hear with people when it comes to eating healthy, right?
Right. It really is. And that's what I was talking to one of my clients about the other day as well. I think so what I always did, especially with myself and going back to the fact that, right, when I was training to become a wrestler, I didn't have any money. That's why I was doing tuna fish and white rice every day, right? But I think we got to be more conscious about where we spend our money at times as well, right? Because some of my clients that'll come to me and say, "Oh, this is expensive, that's expensive," but then the same ones go into Rustico or they're going to Intrepid, right? And they're eating a $200 dinner, right, every weekend, but then they don't have money for groceries, right? So I think people just have to be a bit more conscious of where they're spending their money. And then on top of that, I think that people need to kind of have a better understanding. And that's why I try and put in my group chats as well. Like, so when, if there's certain items, for example, for sale, or not even necessarily for sale. So like it's certain types of chicken breasts that you can find on the island that are slightly cheaper than other types of chicken breasts, right? But then it's hard to say because then some Bermudians like specific types of brands, right? So it's kind of difficult. Would I say that it's expensive? Bermuda is expensive in general, but I think at the end of the day, if we focus more on buying the specific things that we need as opposed to some of the things or spending money in other places where we don't necessarily have to, I think it might not feel like such a burden, if that makes any sense. Like I've had people tell me my workout classes are expensive, right? But then at the same time, I will put on a retreat and they're the first one signed up for the retreat, which is more expensive than my 9-month classes. So, yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those situations where I think it depends on what people want at the time, right? And I think if people really want it and the goal is to get fit, right, they'll sacrifice some of those other things to then be willing to put that money towards food, right? And yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question for me to kind of answer, I guess.
No. I completely understand. It's diet is to maintain a healthy diet. So many people have said the concern for them is not being able to afford it. But I always, like you said, is what we decide to prioritize in terms of how we spend our money. And I think that's what it comes down to. Kamel, for people tuned in right now who may want to get healthier, but don't know where to start, what's one simple step they can take today?
I would say find something or someone that motivates you. So when I was in high school, I I always wanted to be a professional wrestler, which you guys clearly know now. So what I would do, I would go like to Phoenix, and I would look through the aisles, and I would look for the muscle and fitness magazines, right? And on some of those muscle and fitness magazines, sometimes you'll have wrestlers, sometimes it'll be Arnold Schwarzenegger, it'll be different bodybuilders, whatever. But I would buy those magazines, and I would take them back to school. And I would be in school looking through the magazines and reading it and learning about what these guys are doing to work out and stuff like that. And people were like, "What are you doing? Why you got that magazine where there's big guys in there?" Some of the teachers would be like, "Look at this man with this big necks. They look like frogs and da 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 da." Right? And regardless of what everyone said at the time, right? It was what motivated me to want to actually do better. Right? So you gotta find something or someone that's good that has that body you want, right? Or has the look you kind of want, and then see what they're doing, right? For the most part, you can't, it's hard to say as well, because you can't really trust social media, right? Again, right? You might have your favorite athlete or influencer, but they might be on peptides, right? And they might be promoting that they're or promoting this healthy lifestyle and this healthy way of living. Meanwhile, everything behind what they're doing is all a lie, right? So it's hard to really gauge, but at the end of the day, if you have that individual, right, and you have that look in mind, all you need to focus on is the small steps to pretty much get in there, right? So you got to change your diet, right? You have to do cardio. You have to show up to the gym at least 3 days a week, right? So we start there. And over time, by staying consistent, right, we're not always going to be perfect, right? You're not always going to come to the gym and feel like being there, right? I know that happens with all my clients. That happened even this morning. Kamel, I'm tired, right? But it's like, okay, let's do what we can today. Let's do the best that we can today, and let's go from there, So that's what I think most people just need to focus on, finding that individual or that body, and then taking those small steps. Because even with the influencers that are doing those things behind the scenes, right? They are still staying consistent with their diet, right? A lot of the guys that I competed with in bodybuilding, right? Those guys, some of those guys were taking a lot of steroids, right? But at the end of the day, their diets, for the most part, were still consistent, right? So you still have to put in a significant amount of work to look a certain way. So we can't just say, oh, well, they're on steroids, right? They're still doing a lot of stuff. So, and that's what I think a lot of people kind of miss when they decide, okay, well, I'm going to go on peptides, or I'm going to go on Ozempic. You got to realize that you still need the fundamentals, and the fundamentals is diet and exercise, right? You can't just take the drug and think it's just going to do everything for you.
Yeah.
So,
one last question from the audience. Nikita Shields asking, with proper diet and consistent cardio, on average, how much weight can one lose in a month?
So this is it's hard to say. On average, you want to focus on losing maybe 1 to 2 pounds, right? A week, right? So that could be 4 to 8 pounds in a month, right? But it depends on how big you are, right? We might have someone that we're dealing with that might be 300 pounds, right? So in a month's time, they're going to lose a lot more than someone that's only 200 pounds. See what I'm saying? So what you just want to focus on is just staying as consistent as you can. Some months you might not lose anything, and that's what I try and tell my clients as well, right? There's a lot of people that get discouraged by, well, I haven't lost any weight. I've been showing up here, I've been training, and my weight's still the same. And I'm like, okay, but think about it this way, right? Let's see your before and after pictures, and this is why I always have my clients take before and after pictures, right? Because they might not see a change in the scale, but we look at the before and after pictures, and there's a change in the pictures. So I'm like, your body's changing, You just don't see it because you base everything off of the scale, and the scale, ma'am, is a lie, right? So think about it this way, right? If you gain 5 pounds of muscle and you lose 5 pounds of fat, you're gonna look, or you're gonna weigh, sorry, the exact same, but your overall body composition is gonna be completely different, right? So now we gain 10 pounds of muscle and we lose 10 pounds of fat. You're gonna look, the change is gonna be even more drastic. So that's why people need to kind of get away from judging themselves by what the scale says, right? Because the scale is not always going to tell you the truth. It's not always going to tell you, or it's not going to tell you how much body fat you lost versus how much muscle you gained. And that's the ultimate goal of actually showing up at the gym, working out, changing your diet, right? We want to build muscle, lose fat.
And I think you kind of answered that question. I don't know if you saw it, but Polyrisk says everyone talks about weight loss. What about weight gain? So I answered that now. Kamel, for those who all who have enjoyed this conversation, because it's been one heck of a conversation. How can people get in touch with you, reach out to you, learn more, and maybe possibly join one of your classes?
People can reach out to me on Instagram. That's probably the best way at Cut2Fit BDA. Cut so CUT number 2 FIT BDA. Or you could just type in my name, Kamel Dickinson, on Instagram. So all my pages usually come back to Kamel Dickinson. So if you message me on Kamel Dickinson, 100% be there to respond. But yeah, so that's the easiest way to contact me, I would say. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. And you do more than just help people with health and fitness. You guys do stuff in the travel space. I heard travel vacations, and we definitely want to have you back on to discuss that as well. But thank you so much for the wealth of information you shared this morning. And please don't be a stranger. If there's ever anything going on, competitions that Mia wants to enter, let us know.
I definitely want to enter. And Kamel, before we leave this note, we were talking earlier about how in the community, how we're all connected. So your nephew and my son are best friends. So Zavi and my son are best friends. So there you go. We are all connected. It all circles back. Yeah.
All right, Kamel, thanks so much. Have a wonderful
See you at the class.
Definitely. Appreciate you guys.
Kamel Dickinson, Cut2Fit, everyone. If you appreciated that conversation and you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're going to take our final break. After this break, we're going to see. This is Mia's first show of the year, folks. We're going to test to see if she still got it. We've got a daily place. It's a name that place. I gave you all a hint. The Super Bowl's this weekend. Stick with us.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Every space has a message, whether it's a store, a government office, or a doctor's waiting room. With Store Tunes Radio, Transform your environment with customized music and professional messaging that keeps people informed, engaged, and at ease. Easy to use, built for organizations of every kind. Powered by Bermuda Communications Group. StoreTunes Radio, the soundtrack to better customer experiences. Visit StoreTunesRadio.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big shows of the Daily Hour, brought to you by our good friends at the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda Medical House, Linda's People's Pharmacy, and big love to a Hot 1075, ensuring we can pump through the radio airways for all of you on a regular basis. She's Mia Shembray. I'm Jamel Hartman. Thanks again to Kamel Dickinson, Cut2Fit. Folks, if you appreciated that conversation, please do us that big favor. Help us beat the algorithm. Whatever platform you're streaming on, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure everyone you know has access to these most important community conversations as possible. All right, folks, it is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, Mia, audience, are you ready?
No.
No. Okay, fine. I'm gonna ask anyway. Yep, boundaries. All right, folks, I gave you a hint. Super Bowl. Probably won't get why it's a hint, but some of you will. Here's the question. It's a name that place. Which city is the capital of Puerto Rico?
San Juan.
You and Julie at the buzzer.
Oh my God, Joel. So I was singing the West Side Story soundtrack in my mind. I like to be in America, because they're all from Puerto Rico, right? And I like the city of San Juan. Okay, that's how I got
Yeah, you came up with it. You got it at the buzzer. Yeah, San Juan it is, says Julie and Michelle White.
Hilarious.
Had leans for me. No, you meant San Juan, not Don Juan. Yeah, San Juan it is. I said think Super Bowl because that's where Bad Bunny is from. And I sent someone a WhatsApp the other day, and I said the fact that people are up in arms and saying it's un-American tells me they don't understand colonialism. Puerto Rico is an American territory, folks, meaning that the Puerto Rican people, though their language is Spanish, they have American passports. They are U.S. citizens. They are one of you, whether you like it or not. Now, you could tell the U.S. to give up that territory, and then maybe things will change. But until then, Bad Bunny is as American as any of you. He just knows how to speak multiple languages, unlike most of you. So anyway, Bad Bunny is performing this Sunday at the Super Bowl. This Sunday at the Super Bowl. By the way, do you watch it? Like, are you gonna watch the Super Bowl?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know the Super Bowl was happening.
Man, people don't.
So no, but I will watch I always watch the performances. To me, I know we disagree on this, but for me, the number one Super Bowl performance ever was Prince. I know yours is Michael Jackson.
No. Prince was one of the best ever. Let me be very clear. Like, Prince, the man made it rain during Purple Rain. Like,
honey,
come on.
What can we say? There's nothing more to say. He's a god, a legend, and a king.
Mike, see, we're talking. It was look. I think Mike was the first Super Bowl as well. First.
Yes,
might have been the first one. But what Mike did, Mike stood there looking like I'm exaggerating, about 30 minutes, just stood there.
I know, people were screaming.
You forgot that it was like a sports event taking place because Mike was there. So,
true.
You know what, Mia? Let's ask everyone, who's your favorite Super Bowl halftime performance? Mia's is Prince. I'm Michael Jackson. Who's your favorite? And honestly, I'll be honest with you, this is the least hype Super Bowl I've heard about in terms of the game. Like, unless you're a Patriots fan or Seahawks fan, but no one really cares. There's no real draw this year, it seems.
I think there's so much else going on right now
in the world.
The people are really it's like Super Bowl is kind of trivial compared to what else is happening. Like, it's Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah, what is everybody's favorite performance? And also, will you be watching the Super Bowl? I always watch the performance, like, or always catch like a replay of it. I think it's amazing. And then last year, remember Maya did that story on the Super Bowl about In Living Color?
Yep.
And how I thought that was so fascinating. I love that. So I hope that In Living Color takes that. Wouldn't that be amazing if they did the halftime show again at some point?
What was the halftime show last year?
Wasn't it Snoop Dogg and
Was it? I can't remember.
Wasn't it them?
No, who was the halftime show last year? Jewel Eve says Prince was amazing, but Michael Jackson was on another level. Polly Rich says MJ for sure. Sherilyn Johnson says Prince.
Sherilyn, that's my girl.
Says MJ and Prince.
Okay.
Lamar last year. Kendrick Lamar. That's who it was.
Oh, Kendrick Lamar. Right. Okay.
One says Whitney Houston. She sang that. Well, she wasn't the halftime show. She just sang the anthem. That was what, 91. She was amazing. Yeah, she was amazing.
She was amazing.
You all are going to disagree with me, but the best national anthem for me wasn't Whitney Houston. It was I think what's his name? Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
Chris Stapleton.
Thank you, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, his was amazing. I thought his was amazing too.
Chris Stapleton. He's a country singer, kind of big guy. Chris Stapleton's rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, to me, it's Whitney Houston's. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
He took you on an emotional roller coaster with it.
I love him.
Like that performance. Whitney, by far, a great singer, powerful. But if you watch Chris Stapleton, you would have forgotten he was speaking about singing about the national anthem, because the emotions of it, the way he sang that, the soul in which he sang that. Chris Stapleton was on another level. And I know forever people have said Whitney Houston. I'm telling you, if you can make an unbiased decision, if you listen to both Whitney Houston and Chris Stapleton easily the best ever at the Super Bowl national anthem. I'm telling you.
I agree completely. I couldn't agree more. And I'm in love with Chris Stapleton also, so that probably is. I'm a bit impartial.
The brother. I mean, for all of you who don't know, I started my career in country radio. I was a Radio Disney, so I have an appreciation for great singing, regardless of genre.
And storytelling.
Yeah, seriously. And that brother, I mean, he's soulful. He's a great. What was this song that I used to listen to in my car and people used to get confused? Strawberry Wine, was it?
Smooth Tennessee whiskey.
Like, man, you all getting me going on memory lane. Anyway, Mia, we got to wrap it up. We got to go. But as we end it, final thoughts on this morning's discussion and then the conversation with Kamel.
Final thoughts on this morning's discussion. If you see something, say something, and we should be empowered to keep our community safe and not shame each other. We really need to focus on keeping violence at bay in our local Bermudian community. And I champion and applaud people who maybe listen to their gut that something isn't right, and they report it to the police. So that's my opinion, as I said. I loved our conversation with Kamel. I thought it was empowering, interesting. His energy is infectious. I definitely want to go to one of his classes. I thought so many of his tips were really relatable and very easy to execute in your daily life as well. He has lived experience. He has an incredible history and background. And I'm so happy that he's in Bermuda giving us his gifts, both in fitness, personality, and in entrepreneurship.
Indeed. I'll say this much about the discussion. I appreciate both sides. I really do. I appreciate people feeling like, you shouldn't be poking through stuff when you go speak. I do appreciate that, because personally, I don't have any secrets. I don't think I do, but I still wouldn't want people going all through my stuff. If you come into my studio to fix something, I would hope that you're not going to go through like my phones or books or my bills or anything like that, right? So I get that.
Same.
However, we still do have a moral responsibility after the fact. That's my point.
Yes.
A moral responsibility as good citizens and human beings, right? And so my hope is that going forward, regardless of how things are done, the morality in our community supersedes anything else. As far as the conversation with Kamel, I love conversations like that. And I like how honest we can be without being judgmental. I'm honest with you. I used to think that working out was a competition because everything was competition when I was brought up that was athletic, that involved that, whether it was football, rugby, basketball, cross country, it was all competitive. Fitness and health is not a competition. It's personal. And so I appreciate the work that he's done and how his journey didn't necessarily go the way he wanted, and he figured something out. And he had the courage to go out and help others through it. So hit up Cut2Fit, hit up Kamel. Mia, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do, actually. The daily inspiration for today is by Coretta Scott King. And she says, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members."
I see what you did there. What you did. Folks, we are not going to be on live tomorrow. We will be back on Monday. Yes, we will be back on Monday, the date February 9th. So there's no live show tomorrow. But that said, please, if you haven't already, subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical Health, Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves on a regular basis with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you Monday. She's Mia Shanbray. I'm Jamel Hart, and please do make it a safe and a great day. VR is out. Peace.